Welcome back to the Eric Krown Crypto channel. This video is actually being recorded on Sunday, a day before my surgery, as I wanted to release a video for that day. Anyways, to follow up on something on the macro that we've spoken about many times over the past 6 months or so now. And I just wanted to follow up on it because we're slowly but surely seeing it start to come to fruition. And that is the Bitcoin dominance chart. So the Bitcoin dominance chart over here obviously represents altcoins versus their Bitcoin Satoshi pairing. So this does not imply moves for the US dollar pairing. Obviously, generally speaking, when we see this uptrending, the general market is going down versus US dollar. But hey, in this case, we're just going to be purely talking about altcoin versus Satoshis essentially. And we have hit one of our first macro targets. That was the high side of our weekly range, right around about 48.5%. Now, actually exactly there right now, to be fair. And yes, while things might have a short-term pullback somewhere around here in this zone that I will mark off right here, which is going to be right in this region. So it might trade a little bit higher first into the 49.5 region. Might be a short-term pullback right there. But ultimately, I am looking for this to trade much higher into the next 6 months, where we'll probably update it yet again. Somewhere around, assuming the next breakout above the 49.5% region, somewhere around the 1.414 to the 1.618, which is in the 52 to 53.5% region, which is going to put a lot of downside pressure on the majority of altcoins. Now, maybe not all of them go down to smithereens, but ultimately the majority of them very likely will. And no, I do not think that things will actually stop there. Very rarely do you see trending moves stop at the 1.414 or even the 1.618. Usually we're going to see them go at least to the 2 spot and probably higher than that in this case, as we do have a history of seeing something similar to this on the monthly. Where you can see that Bitcoin actually, or Bitcoin dominance, I should say, did put in a higher low compared to the last major macro low, which was 2018. So we actually are seeing, something rather interesting right there. And generally speaking, I see no reason why this won't go somewhere closer to 60%, maybe even above 60% throughout the next half year to a year and a half. So very likely we do see a lot of altcoins get absolutely shreked versus their Bitcoin Satoshi pairing. Also on that note, we do see that monthly stochastic momentum is turning up and getting momentum above the critical zone for the first time basically since March. And not only that, but that is a very specific signal right here where we see it turn from the critical zone back above the critical zone. And the last time we saw that was August 2018, and that was really on the breakout out of that confirmation of a local low, which I'll mark off right here. Boom. And of course, we actually have basically a local low being formed pretty much in the exact same area, a little bit lower, 48.5%, kind of where Bitcoin dominance is at right now. So I do expect that this very likely will trade further north. Somewhere probably around 60 in the next year. I think it's kind of minimum. If things really get nasty, which I would not feel comfortable calling just yet, but definitely possible. Maybe even to the shallow 70s, but that would take a long time. So really no more complicated analysis than this. Obviously, this is not going to affect every altcoin. I mean, there's certainly going to be some that have their moves here and there, but in general, and we can look at Ethereum Bitcoin pairing as kind of like a barometer of the general altcoins, and we are getting our breakdown that we spoke about there this past couple months here, basically coming in since March, April, May, and this is a pattern breakdown. I very rarely call these out, but it is a head and shoulders. We are getting pretty damn close to the target, which is the 55 right here, just at around 4.8 to 4.9 million Satoshis. Very likely going to be bounced somewhere right around there, but ultimately, this is a good candidate for having a full-on round trip actually, where maybe we do something like this, maybe get a bounce right there and then come back down to those lows that we did see from the 2020 sagas, and hopefully for the Bulaw's sake set in something resembling like a higher low right there, accumulate over the next few years, and then maybe give another try to the upside. But yeah, pretty nasty rejection right here, to be fair. We can also go check out the quarterly as well. Yep, quarterly also putting in a top. So, after you put in a top, very likely going to go find your bottoms, which not going to be right here, as we're literally seeing continuation on this. Is there anything else that I wanted to mention on this? Yeah, monthly BBWP at the lowest levels we've ever seen ever on this asset. Weekly is starting to really get going there as well, and obviously this is a breakdown, so I expect that this move has more legs on it until we at least get into like the 70 percentiles. Personally, I typically look for things to get into like 85 to 90 percentile plus before I start to look for like, major, in this case, lows. The sort of like culmination of that trending move. But for right now, there's going to be bounces along the way. I'm sure of it. But ultimately, I would be looking for this one to retrace a lot more, very likely below 4 million Satoshis, probably before year end, as we do see this move slowly but surely play out. So, altcoin versus Bitcoin pairings in general, not going to be doing too well in this market environment. And hopefully that was helpful. And I'll sign off right there. Take care and see you hopefully soon.